All right, hi guys. Welcome back to the Library of Alexandria. Today we are joined by Pete, who is drinking blackberry cider and reading a book he found at a flea market because Adrian Tchaikovsky told him to. We also have Anitha, who managed to finish this book, and then we have Mike Mindlin joining us here as well. And for it's a reread for you, right, Mike?
It was, yeah. I read it 10 years ago, I think. It was for a book club, but I never continued with the series. I don't even know if the second book was out yet when I read it.
Cool.
So now I'm going to read the whole trilogy.
Right on. We also have joining us Urza, inventor of Urza Pop, who read this book in less than 6 hours. Just read the whole friggin' thing, which is crazy. So yeah, me and Pete read it physically. Anitha read it immersion, and Mike did the audio. But so I don't let's just, I guess, start by talking about our just general kind of thoughts. I can't speak to how the audio was, but Pete, your general thoughts?
I thought it was good. I think that I feel like there's concepts in here that I've seen done other places in a better way to me. But I do think that this is a nice book. I feel like this is this feels like a starter fantasy book to me, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it feels like it's a good book that's accessible to a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Because the world building's good, it's not overwhelming, and the political intrigue is good, but it's not intricate and crazy and and the characters are good, but they're not yeah.
All right, Anitha.
I like it a lot. I mean, I think I like slow world building. I know that I forgot about it. Even Dagger and Coin first book, I liked it a lot. That learning the new world, learning the new magic system, getting to know the characters. I loved that book, and same thing happened with this book. I mean, it has its faults, but I did not care. I loved beginning to ending completely.
All right, Mike.
I liked it. I thought it was 3.5 stars for me, maybe. There's things in it I really liked. I really liked. I don't think it was the best character work, but I happen to just like those characters, and they fall into tropes that I really like. I like a smart academic female main character that's smarter than everybody else. I also, sorry.
Oh, you're right.
The world building was neat, and it felt like he had a ton of world building behind the scenes that he had done. But overall, it was a little scattered. There was a lot in it, and it was bouncing all over the place a bit. But I did like it. I think I remember liking it the first time I read it, and I was probably about the same amount.
Are you gonna continue?
Yeah, I've actually read book 2 already. So,
okay, well, hold your book 2 thoughts till the end, because I would like to know your general thoughts. Go ahead.
The nice thing is, unlike the second book, is quite different from the first, so I'm not going to have any problems confusing stuff that in the second book with stuff in the first book. So,
well, I'm just gonna ask you now. Second book good? Did you like the second book better than the first book?
I like the second book a little better.
Cool. Right on. I'm going to disagree with Pete about it being a good beginner. I think there's too much going on for someone who's not used to fantasy books. I think, however, if you are a veteran fantasy book reader, I think a lot of what happens is not going to be super surprising. I think there are some things in it where I just played too many RPGs and read too many books where the second something is, and it's a lot. It's a lot. This is a lot that happens in mystery novels. You just happen to be on guard for things when there's a mystery, and anytime someone mentions something, rarely is stuff mentioned offhand. It's hard to do without signposting it. But for the second one character mentions something about just offhand mentions a family member, I'm boom, family member is going to be in it later, guaranteed. But like Mike, I agree. I liked the tropes it leaned into, like the characters and the type of story it is appeal to me. I love fantasy mysteries, And Simon in the Discord, I think, just had a great review about like it's not so much like a mystery as a gossip columnist where RJB is like saying, "Hey, look at this! Oh, now look at this story! Now look at this!" Because it's not. I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't really know how good the mystery was. All I know is that I enjoyed it. Like I enjoyed it unfolding, and I really like the trope of discover. It's why I like Lovecraft, discovering things through journals, through like discovered like letters, scraps of paper, ciphers and that kind of stuff, espionage stuff. Like I really like it.
Like national treasure.
Yes.
Yeah. And so I enjoyed that, and the world felt a lot like to me a lot like Blackwing, where there are these nameless. I guess they're not nameless, but in Blackwing you have like there's some of the gods like Crowfoot, who is the one that Blackwing works for, or whatever, or that the main guy does, and then there's like the Deep Kings they're fighting against, and then there's just like these other beings that you learn so much about. But don't really see very often, and so that it felt a lot like that. But I also liked that the setting was kind of different. It was very clearly Eastern European for Bulakov and the names and stuff, and then Saipur or Saipur to me seemed Indian. I asked Anitha, I'm like, Anitha, are these Indian names, like, or like
Yes,
Indian inspired names?
Definitely South Asian, actually. Indian, Sri Lankan, that area.
No, right on. It was significantly less smug than Gillian Flynn. Yes, I agree. I agree that the character work is much more of a the dinner prep history.
I think
Okay. All right, go ahead.
I think he was talking about that main character cooking dinner and while
while talking. Here's the
yeah.
problem, Ben. Ben, I get it. Like clunky info dumps, I don't love either. But like, do you like Brandon Sanderson? Because if you do, I'm fairly certain he's way worse in times. See chapter 3 of Way of Kings. But I mean, I get it.
Is that the third prelude or the second prologue?
It's the first Shallan chapter. So I liked the courtroom scene to start with. I know some people didn't, probably Ben. But I thought after the courtroom scene, I did think some of the info dumping was a little clunky. But I mean, I'm not someone who hates info dumps in general. I'm like Urza. Go ahead. Please give me more information. I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I think the courtroom scene did a good job of how Buliko people think about Saipur's occupation. It set up, at least for me, it worked as a good setup.
No, Sal, exactly. I think the dinner scene is that, where they're getting together to discuss the clues they've found.
Yeah, I didn't mind that at all. Like the info dumps felt. They were dumps, but they didn't overstay their welcome at all.
Yeah.
I feel like that the character was built to be the kind of character that goes on and on about what they know to people.
True.
That is who she is. Yeah. It's established pretty early that she knows a lot and she likes to tell people what she knows.
Yeah. Yeah. I liked what's Shara? That's her name, right?
Yeah.
I liked Shara, and I also like Sigrid. We're not gonna have. I guess we are going to talk spoilers here, guys, just because. But here, if before we talk spoilers, I think if you like noir novels and you like fantasy mystery, I think you can. This is a book that people can enjoy. Anybody have any other recommendations? People you'd recommend it to before we talk about spoilers?
I just want to mention one thing. If you are planning on reading this, don't go for audio, at least not just audio. I did immersion reading while reading physical and or listening to audio, so I can clearly see the difference. Because in physical, when end of a scene happened, even suppose flashback scene is about to come, even then there is no gap. I was planning on taking a break. In audio, there is not even a full stop. There is not even a comma. They completely deleted that gap. So it was weird. I have to take a pause, to pace myself, audiobook rushes me a lot, actually rushed me. So I had to pause the audiobook and pace myself. So
Mike,
definitely
what
don't
were your
recommend.
thoughts, Mike, on the audiobook?
I thought the audiobook narrator was below average. She grew on me enough that I didn't mind by the end, and she does the second book, and I was used to it, so I'm fine in the second book. But I just felt like she seems to have done a lot of other audiobooks, but just her could have been the editing too. Feel like her pacing, like Anita said, the pacing was weird, and I feel like she pronounced some words, and they weren't like fantasy words that you would expect somebody to pronounce wrong. Just regular English words that she would pronounce wrong every now and then, and it's like, what?
That's wild.
Yeah.
I got the person who edited Idan caught the couple that I did and sent it back and said, hey, it's not ascetic, it's aesthetic. I'm like, oh, well, I guess I better re-record that then. So I don't know how that stuff, I have no idea how editing works. So I have no idea how that stuff misses the editors or whatever. All right, so we're gonna talk about spoilers, guys. Just like they may come up, because this book it's a world where the oppressed have become the oppressors. A subjugated nation threw off the shackles of their oppressor. Now they're subjugating the ones before, or the ones that they're overseers, and they've they refuse to allow them access to their history and their knowledge, because all of that is of the divine, despite the fact that literally everything in the city of Bulakov is named for one of the divine, because you can't really escape it. And I like the idea of these, gods that are out there. And I also like epigraphs at the beginning of chapters, like revealing stuff like that. There were few poems, which was great. There's way too many poems in Malazan in their epigraphs. But I don't know. Who did you guys? What was your favorite character in this book, Mike? Who did you like the best?
I liked Shara Kamei was my favorite. Like I said, that's a trope that I like in other books, and he didn't do it as the best, but I like that. I also like Sigurd a lot. So obviously, that's what he's there for.
Yeah, for sure. He's there. I would. Pete, are you going to say you didn't like Sigrid, because that's not acceptable? Okay, just making sure.
Why would I? Sigrid's great.
First, straight into the book, I liked Mulage, straightforward, honest.
I love Mulage. Yeah.
That is our kind of character. I immediately thought, okay, Alan would like this character. And then Sigrid grew up on me, and slowly Shara grew on me as well. I liked every character, except the negative one, obviously. By the end, I really liked all characters. I loved Shara and even O. They grew on me. It felt bad that all the character wanted was better conditions for his people, and he did not see that. And coming to the point you make about this gods and suppression, I think he did a great job at showing us how they suppressed in the past and how much they are struggling in the present. It made it very difficult to root for one nation.
Yeah. Pete?
Yeah, no, I think I like Shara the best. She, I like intelligent characters. I like reading about intelligent characters. And I was sometimes with detective novels, it's really easy to fall into, or noir novels, it's really easy to fall into the trap of just like, well, they can't figure this out now, even though I've kind of given them all the pieces here. So I have to like basically miscommunication trope, but in your own brain, type of like, hey, I have to prevent them from putting these pieces together, even though it's really easy to put them together. It's really easy to make an intelligent character look stupid in a very specific situation, basically. And I'm glad he didn't end up falling into that trap.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think there was any point where I thought they weren't getting it, except for the fact that like Shara taking forever to figure out that it was Vo's brother was nightmarish. Even after she saw him And it's like, oh, he looks really different. He's not using his cane. Oh, did you change clothes? And Vo's like, wait, I don't even know what you're talking about. Like, I don't know why she didn't put it together at that point. I mean, I guess, like she's not a fantasy reader, and he told her that, he was dead and everything. But like I thought she was a little slow to figure that out. But other than that, Simon, I was just commenting on your review about how like, it was a little ponderous with the brother thing. I thought all the other mystery stuff was good.
Mhm.
I didn't figure out that it was Auntie Vinya. That's her name, right? Is her name Vinya? Yeah. Auntie Vinya, which sounds like Uncle Vanya. Anyway, Auntie Vinya was the one who arranged for the professor to be axed. I did not figure that out. So that was a surprise that it was her all along. But I thought the brother thing was obvious. Everything else, like I was fine with Sigrid being the Viking prince. Her problem is like when you have one Drailing in the whole book, and you say something about a Drailing prophecy, of course it's Sigrid. Like there's no other Drailings in this book. But I really enjoyed the first like 80% of this book. I am often disappointed when these gods that we're talking about and we're setting up, and like I love the history about Kolkan and the Kolkashtani and how all that was set up, and I love the history about about the I don't know why we can't ever focus on the builder god. No book ever focuses on the engineer god ever. Like I want to see about him. No,
I think book 2 is about that.
No, it's not. Book 2 is about the war one.
I think book 3 might be though. I haven't read it, but I think it might be.
I hope so. But I love learning about all that, and then the reveal of them is often just disappointing to me. It's like Kolkan was meh. Like after he's revealed, he was meh. Like they talked about all the stuff he does, and then he's there, and he doesn't just wipe them out like that. Oh, he was distracted. Get out with he was distracted. Like just turn her to stone. He turned everyone else except Bo's brother to stone instantly, right? Didn't he? Like so the and that often happens. The same thing happened in the Blackwing books when like we're finally face to face with one of the Deep Kings. I'm just kind of those books never play out like I want them to. And so it just became from this noir figuring it out like, oh, there's eldritch ones on the outside to like, I guess now we're fighting this thing. I mean, it's awesome that Sigrid, throws an airship at him. I mean, that's awesome. And so there's some cool stuff. I just did not enjoy that. Like the wind down, like the stuff afterwards where she's taken care of and talking to Auntie Vinya and things like that. Like I like that. So how did you feel, Pete, about the gods and the Urza liked the way the gods were done.
Nice. I feel like when you come across any being that could instantly just wipe you, you need to have some sort of trickery or plan to go against them for it to feel any sort of realistic. So at the same time, you almost have to undercut the reveal in terms of like, oh my gosh, the god, you have to do that well before you actually encounter the gods in order to set this up. Otherwise, when you like, oh my gosh, there's gods in the world and we're so surprised, it doesn't feel, when that attention is undercut by, oh, the good good guys are winning somehow the emperor returned. It just ends up undercutting the tension. Like, oh, they're gonna win. That's cool. For me, I feel like, at the same time, like almost from the beginning of the book, it was pretty obvious to me that one of the gods was going to come back, if not multiple.
That was set up like that. I think it was obvious because since the beginning we knew at least 2 gods were alive.
So it's like, oh yeah, at least one of them is going to go, and that felt like it undercut a lot of the tension for the rest of the book. Because like, oh, what's going to happen?
I think, I mean, at least I felt nowhere author wanted to make us feel that tension as thriller we are reading. He revealed everything like very, I mean, instantly for most of the times. Only that O's brother, what is that guy's name? That was the only one. He just waited till that we see him. Everything else he revealed instantly. So I don't think he was going for that surprise effect. And
Anita, your mic cable is banging against your mic.
okay,
Thanks.
how is it now?
I mean, it keeps.
It's banging against something.
It's just loud.
Okay.
I kind of agree with you about how the God. I'm sorry, were you done anything? I didn't want to interrupt.
It's okay. It's okay. Go ahead.
As like you said, that the gods, when he comes back, why doesn't he just, he can just wipe them all out? But I feel like the research the professor did about the nature of those gods and how they didn't quite understand exactly, like they assumed they were all powerful beings, but they might have had restrictions they didn't know about. I think that played into their weakness a little. But I will say, I thought the divine creature guarding the stairs down with the hand beak and stuff, that was really cool. I don't want to spoil anything, but I feel like a lot of the divine creatures that they describe in the book, even ones we don't see, the ones they just reference and stuff, they give me very much like Elden Ring kind of vibes. They
Yes,
like Elden Ring creatures,
Yeah. I really like the dude with the eye that went into the river that Sigurd killed. That was really cool.
the
also,
like eye cracking thing.
Yeah. That was awesome.
Are there more divine creatures in book 2, Mike?
Yes.
Yes. I mean, I figured. Go ahead and finish.
Sal mentioned in the chat that people affecting gods is a cool thing. Actually, I haven't seen that anywhere else.
Yeah, let's talk about the we've talked about just the plot and stuff, but some of the like thematic stuff I thought that was interesting. Like, it reminds me of Hogfather, where like if you stop believing in a god, like they vanish or whatever. But even that's different, where the gods were influenced by, it would take time. Like the people would decide, this is what we want, this is how we want infidels to be punished, and so like the writs and the laws come after. They're like ex post facto, after the worshipers have already decided how they want their religion to function. So it's like the gods are a product of the religion. The religion comes first, and then the divine proclamations come next. But
I don't know that it's so much that they decide. I think it's subconscious. Like they're subconsciously shaping their subconscious desires is what's shaping what the gods are for them. Like
I think
they're controlled by that to some degree.
I think it was just with Kolkhan particularly, where they were spitting out the edicts or whatever, the laws and stuff. But yeah, I guess they didn't have the laws but they forced him to come and give them the laws that they subconsciously wanted to have. Anita?
I think, I mean, that's how in real life it works too. I mean, yeah, in real life, we may not know what God thinks now at this point, but these religious people in power, have their own interpretation and try to implement their own rules on the rest of the people.
Pete?
Yeah, I thought that was really cool. And it definitely like is one of those things that like really speaks to like, okay, this is how humanity has shaped itself. And like, oh wow, hey, these people kind of suck when you have them going down this whirlpool of these self like replicating, going down this whirlpool of just like, hey, we're gonna make more and more edicts, or we're gonna make Zhukov more and more crazy as the years go on.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the stuff with the gods was super like interesting and original. Like even the trickster god, was the fact that one of his saints, he switched the saint's gender every night. Like that saint that it said husband wife of Zhukov or whatever in the epigraph.
It's like an anime.
Yeah, And I hate that we only got one page of the warehouse inventory.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I hate this trope. I hate it with all of my being, where you get a warehouse 13 that's like so big and so expansive and so freaking, oh, there's so many cool things that you could go find, and it freaking burns down in like 5 pages.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
I mean, I was just I loved reading the page about what all the miracles do.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
really, really cool.
It's freaking tease.
Actually, I wanted more of all the gods about what they did, how they did. I don't care about info dumping. I want more of that. All
Yeah.
history.
Yeah, if your world is cool, like I don't care that you info dump stuff like that. Or like Urza was saying here, yeah, there was a lot of I just like Urza was saying up above, is I think it is really cool to learn the history of what Bulakov was like and the continent was like prior to the gods, and then when the Kaj came and killed all of them, you know what happened, like the fact that there's a plague because it was the gods that were keeping them you know, healthy and safe, the fact that half of Bulakov blinked out of existence because you know, was it Kolkon, or I guess, yeah, Kolkon, one of them was building stuff. Is it the T one, the building one?
Is it Juco?
No,
Juco is
the-
trickster.
Right.
Yeah.
it's not Tashrin, that's from Malazan, but it's the one that starts with T, is the builder one. But yeah, you know, the they blink out of existence. There's stairways leading up to nowhere, though they didn't really mention that very much.
No, not at all. It was
You
like,
know,
oh
kids
yeah,
Kids are
They-
playing on that stair speed. That's
and they
enough.
jumped off the stairs like the first time where they ran and jumped and whatever. They like jumped off of a stairs that led up a building and then and disappeared.
Yeah, I also like Sal says that she would have preferred no battle after the Sigrid one. Personally, me too. I thought Sigrid, I thought the whole like judging eye thing was really cool and really well done. You know, just the build up and them trying to trap it, and you know, Sigrid going full Kratos. Like that was cool. And then seeing the inside, like it's not just a myth, like they literally are put under that judgment eye for eternity. So that was creepy.
I thought once that Kraken is dead, they'll come back alive. I did not realize they were already dead or like almost dead.
Yeah. Yeah, that was cool. What's the O one's name?
Olvos.
Olvos. Yeah. Her saying that, you know, she's like, as far as I know, I, you know, pulled a cinder out of something, and that's where
It's whatever they say.
Yeah. The fact that there could have been multiple origin stories for these gods. The gods info week. I don't know what that is, Simon. Pete
Spoilers.
and Mike can comment on.
No, you know what that is.
No, I
I
don't know
mean,
what Harmony
he
is.
was talking about Stormlight.
It's not. He's not talking about Stormlight. He's talking about Mistborn.
Oh, in Mistborn. Oh, I see. Yeah,
I don't remember anything in Mistborn.
I didn't like the Harmony thing in Mistborn either. Hold on.
Right.
Hold on. Oh, what is up, Angela? Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed the series. Yeah. Oh, I did not know Sigrid was a girl's name. I think that's how it's pronounced, right?
Sigrid.
Sigrid. Sorry. What about I don't know. What did you think about the god stuff, Mike?
I like the god stuff. I have seen that before, like in D&D and Forgotten Realms, they kind of have that where the worshippers change their gods and like give them power. The more worshippers, the more powerful the gods are. Things like that. So I've seen that before. I thought it was done pretty well in this.
Mm-hmm.
I like the fact that there's a lot of there's a lot of mystery about like what are these beings? Did they come about because people believe? Are they beings from some other dimension that came through? They don't go into that, you know. They don't know. I don't know if they eventually solve that in the trilogy or not, but that's a pretty interesting thing. And I don't mind not knowing at this point because obviously the people in the world don't know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I thought that was neat. Like you said, we set up early. We knew there was going to be a god coming back to the end, but
Yeah.
I think it's funny. Like they knew there was 5, and they knew that one of them left a long time ago, and then one left relatively like a couple hundred years ago, and they thought the Kaj killed the rest of them. So I mean, the mystery of like, oh, which one's the one coming back? You know, so that was well done. I liked how he worked that with it. Was like, oh, the other gods were like, that one's crazy. We're going to lock him away, and then the trickster falling into the trap of his own trick of like, I'm going to hide in him and screwing himself over in essence by trapping himself and changing himself was neat. Yeah. I thought the just the overall setting of the city, it's not exact, but I got a lot of, I had a lot of pictures of Legend of Korra, the city from Legend of Korra, where it's like you know, there's cars, but it's still also magic-y stuff, and like, you know, it's not quite steampunky because it's just technology, but the fact that they have like bolt casters and cars and some technology, it just felt like that like that kind of setting, you know, that time frame. I liked that.
Yeah. I like how there's still mysteries to be had, like what really are the gods, like where did they actually come from, also what is the bullet made out of, like why does that bullet kill the gods, right? And also when we read the story about the Kaj meeting with Zhukov and the Kaj coming out and then crying and then drinking himself to death, I thought Zhukov had like body swapped and Zhukov had killed the Kaj and was coming out like in the appearance of, because you know he has that old man mask in the story, right? He can change his form. So I thought for sure that the Kaj was Zhukov. I was wrong. So I thought that was well done.
Why do you think Kaj cried? Because he killed his own mother and father, or he did not really like the fact that he's the grandson of them?
Oh, so is he crying because of what he did, or he's crying because of who he is? Like those are completely separate. What do you think, Anita?
I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, it depends on how much they hated them. He could really be racist and, I mean, cry because of who he is, or he realized he tortured his own mother.
Or both.
I feel like it was because of who he was. He didn't realize he was torturing his own mother. Like I feel like that would break pretty much anybody. And it could be that that's a complete change to his worldview as well. Like, okay, you think that you're just a normal man that managed to figure this stuff out and managed to do all this stuff, and then you realize that you are literally the thing you were trying to destroy. Like that will break you, and you can, you know, that it's reasonable to say that you would cry at that as well.
Yeah, and I thought that was a cool reveal too. So I guess all of the mystery stuff wasn't ham-handed. The gods coming back, I think like Sal says, I don't think that was supposed to be a surprise. Like I think on the back of the book it says some may not be as dead as they think or whatever. Like that's okay.
Yeah.
And the brother thing was ham-fisted. But everything else I thought was actually fairly decently done. I liked the reveal that the Kaj was, you know, part of them, and that's how he was able to experiment and find his little magic bullet thing or whatever. I hope we do learn more about that. And I am glad that this book felt like a standalone. Like it felt like it wrapped everything up. Like if I wasn't going to read the next two, like, I mean, I'd be pretty satisfied, you know, because she's, I mean, I guess staging a coup. She got her aunt to step down. So I liked the diplomatic stuff going on there. And I like what Bennett does with the Vo character, because I was never sure if he was in on it or not. He's that kind of character I hate. Like at the school, I was like, did I suddenly slip into like a YA like romance here? You know, where you've got the flippant like, how about a nice beep? And it's just like, what is this? But I really like strategy games played out on a page. I don't know why. that's something that I really like. That's one of the things I liked in the Boudica book. They do that in Boudica. So I liked that. And then I ended up liking the guy, and I felt bad that he can't be himself because of the way that, the society is and that the Continentals are. And I like that it turned out he literally really was just trying to help give some stability and prosperity to the Continentals, after completely, because like it's, Vinya's operating procedure is do whatever you need to do to keep the continent poor and dependent, right? It's something to that effect. But I really like the political stuff, like even outside the religious stuff. I like the political stuff of, what is the best and most responsible way to manage people who used to be your enslavers? Because it makes perfect sense that the Saipori don't want them to ever get anything ever again, right? They suffered a millennia of enslavement and cruelty, right? I mean, that doesn't mean they should, but I get it. And Shara and Vo both trying to do it in their separate ways. There's quotes. What is it? She says, "Nations don't have morals, only goals," or something like that. I just liked talking about nation states, because she's like, "I'm sorry," and he's like, "You're not sorry. Like you are literally a representative of your country, and countries don't experience sorrow. Countries don't have sorrow." So I don't know. I just like that extra.
I like their dynamic actually. They both know what the other person want, and they still had that, maintain that friendship. They know, I mean, he knows that Shara is not going to help him completely, but still, ask her continuously. And she knows that, what he wants is not, something she can do. The dynamic between them, I really liked.
Yeah.
And I don't know, Alan. I think I don't agree with that. I mean, I can see that, okay, yeah, from hundreds of years they were enslaved. Yes, they may carry that grudge, or they may not want these people, continentals, have that power again. But seeing that kind of poverty, I don't know. I did not like Vinya at all.
No, I don't like Vinya either. I'm not saying they're right. I'm saying I get why they act like that, because why would they give the oppressors the tools to re-oppress them? Which is, I do like the fact that they are researching, and they give the reason. Vinya tells Shara, we're researching them not so we can have one. Like, we don't want one. We want to make sure they never get one again. And that reminds me of Ballister Geis in Long Price Quartet. It's like, no, we don't want an Ondat. We want to make sure none of you ever have one again.
I understand that as a concept, but both in, okay, let's not talk about LPQ because it's a spoiler, at least in this. I understand that as a concept, as in for people in power, but for regular people to suffer that kind of poverty, maybe there is a middle line. You can give some kind of, bring some kind of economy to the people without giving them any kind of power.
Have you confused me with a Saipuri diplomat? I'm not imposing anything on the continent. Like, I agree with you. Pete, do you have any thoughts on Bo and the politics and what Anitha's saying? Should I relinquish my oppressive regime? Apparently,
always, you should always relinquish the oppressive regime
like that.
to the true people, the true power on the continent. Yeah, no, I really like that. I really like that Vo wasn't just like another like tropey. Oh, I'm just gonna. I felt like he could have easily gone down the I'm gonna hate you because you're Sarpuri and I'm going to not you. I just want to kill like classic. Just all the like. I felt like he wasn't entirely opposed to the Sarpuri. He felt like he was like kind of canted. Like I'll use you whatever I want. Like of course he hated. I don't know how to describe it. How the diagram is in my head, but
I think
he was trying to use him for his own gains, like you said, the Sarpuri, and he was genuinely trying to help his people, and he was
but
pragmatic.
I think of the fact that he didn't like how his people were when they had the power. Like he was not on board. It's not like he could have. It's like if he got a wish, he would have wanted it to go back to. He absolutely would not have wanted it to go back. He wouldn't want it to go back to the way it was because he didn't like the way that they ran things when they were, colonizers and how they treated people. He was not a fan of his own people's history. So I think that was a nice balance with still wanting to help. He still wants to help his people, but he sees helping his people as preventing them from backsliding into what they used to be is part of what he sees as helping them.
First of all, your name change, Mike. Excellent. Like, absolutely. Mike is Sigrud up in here.
I did that, by the way.
Well, all right. Well, it's perfect. But second, I agree, Mike. Like I love, like I thought that both Shara and Vo had that nuance in where they're not completely rebelling, because the trope is like, my society is this way. Well, I'm nothing like my society. And both of them were both a product of their respective societies, but we're also and working to further their nation's interest, but also not fans of the way that their nations are currently doing things. With Shara removing her aunt and trying to actually bring some prosperity to the continent, and then Vo, who I was surprised he killed Vo. Like, I was actually surprised that Vo died. I am not accustomed to authors letting characters die. And so I was actually really surprised that Vo died.
Until that last scene when the battle is going on, even after the battle, Wo's body was never mentioned. So I thought there is going to be some twist or some part of God enters O's body and there will be some kind of reincarnation. That's what I was expecting until the last scene where Shara was practically, what is
On drugs.
she was submerging his ashes in the middle of the sea. Until that scene,
I'm so glad that I'm glad that did not happen, because that absolutely could have. I'm really glad that did not happen. And the Ant did not have superpowers. She is lucky.
She's blessed.
Yeah, she's blessed because she is. Yeah, absolutely. It is. No. Sure. Yeah. Saper first. Like that is her. That is the objective. And this is where it reminded me of Tyrant Philosophers, where it's, the, who are the, oh my gosh, I forgot.
The pals.
Thank you. The pals. It's always like in the interest of Palestine and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But no, we hate divine stuff. No. Unless we need it, which is just like the pals. We really hate magic unless it helps us, in which case we'll go ahead and put you there, and that doesn't count because now
we'll give you the nice emergency line.
Correct. So yeah, I thought that was cool.
Yeah, Shara and Vo, the way I put it is they were both very good at representations of being patriotic, but not nationalistic.
Yeah. Good for that. That's a good way to put it, Pete. That's a good way to put it. Which is not evil, save for Auntie. She was
correct.
100% nationalistic. Yeah. What else? What else are my notes? Anybody else have any other insight? Dang, are you Cypher Evil Auntie, Sal?
I kind of feel like that Evil Auntie isn't all the way gone. I think she's going to come back. Because she's blessed. So things are going to start working out for her. Even if Shara has dirt on her.
There
need
will be more politics. That's all I'm expecting at this point, and more cards. Because I read back of the book of book 2.
Yeah, me too. I'm pleased as punch that Mike says he likes it better.
Yeah.
Because I was concerned because I'm like, the war gods are the worst and the most boring. Where is the builder god? But
I want to
do
follow
like
the
that-
vine god, the growth god. Hey, she built just as much. She built an entire city out of vines.
and you would live in it. I know you would. Oh my gosh. Oh my.
Barefoot all the time,
So,
right?
I thought the stuff after Colcon felt rushed, but I did like it. Oh, hey, do we trust Olvos? Mike, what do you think? Do you trust Olvos?
I think
only from book 2, book 1. Sorry, not from book
yes
2.
and no. I think you can trust her to the degree that you can trust her in the form she is now potentially, because I feel like her followers shaped her to be benevolent and kind of hands off. You know what I mean? I think the fact that she's like, no, I left because my people didn't need me anymore. You know what I mean? I like that's I think she can only be what she is, what she's made into by her followers.
That's
so I think,
true. And her
I think
followers
she can probably be trusted at this point.
Yeah.
I think she has always been like that. That's why her followers are so benevolent and helpful.
Yeah, it's a feedback loop.
Yeah. So I do trust her actually. I didn't think she is manipulating things. Yes, she has a rigid way of seeing things and putting it like that. But yes, I do trust Volvos, at least as of now, especially based on her followers and their actions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's basically what I was going to say. Not exactly. You can trust her as far as you can trust her followers. I feel like if you start seeing weird things with her followers, then like that's going to be the signal that like, yeah, so there's something else with this.
Well, remember
just
her followers started out as bloodthirsty, which is why she left at least the first time or whatever. Read the first epigraph of the first book. Open it up and read the very. You know what? I'll do it.
I remember what you are saying.
I think she wasn't referring to her own followers. She was referring to followers of all the gods.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, it says, "For we are your people. We carry your blessings. We are yours, so we are right." Is this not what you said?
In the beginning, oh, sorry, Pete. I did not realize you were reading. Go ahead.
Yeah, it says, and Olvos said to them, "Why have you done this, my children? Why is the sky wreathed with smoke? Why have you made war in far places and shed blood in strange lands?" And they said to her, "You blessed us as your people, and we rejoiced and were happy. But we found those who were not your people, and they would not become your people. And they were willful and ignorant of you. They would not open their ears to your songs or lay your words upon their tongues. So we dashed them upon the rocks and threw them down on their houses and shed their blood and scattered them to the winds. And we were right to do so, for we are your people. We carry your blessings. We are yours. And so we are right. Is this not what you said?" And Olvos was silent.
Remember that they did not go to war until all of the people had decided they wanted the gods to go to war, and that was after Bulakov. So I think that is all pre the Kaj. And it's all it's all pre-conquest basically, or during the time of like when they were conquesting. So it was a long time ago. And I think the followers now are those monk people. But I think all of the followers got bloodthirsty, and that's why the gods expanded, right?
Yeah.
Because they all convened in Bulakov. Because before, remember, the gods didn't want anything to do with each other. Like they eked out their own thing, but then all of a sudden they wanted to get together and have their little I think Mike had already answered it. Feedback loop. Boom.
I think that'd be a very interesting story to see. Like, okay, where did go back to the chicken or the egg moment for Bulakov, at least, not with the gods, but with Bulakov. Like, where did it start that the ball start rolling of, hey, let's build a city together? It had to come from a person.
Those followers want to come together because with unity they get more power and more strength, and together they can attack other nations. Maybe that's where it started.
That's where I would like
No,
go with it.
remember the gods were fighting each other, but for some reason a couple of the followers like went into each other's lands and like started helping each other and were like, hey, you can benefit me with this. And so they started getting along. And it says like after that, eventually the gods were like, oh, okay, we're not fighting. Let's go have a peace thing.
Like if you have a story from a boots on the ground of how that movement started and how that like kind of snowballed, like a time jumpy story.
I'm glad that Mulagesh is the POV, the main character in.
Really?
Too. Yeah.
Second one is Mulagesh and third one is Sigurd.
Ooh.
How do you know that?
I don't know.
You read the back of all three. You read the back of the third one without finishing the second one. What's wrong with you?
Sorry. I don't know. I think
Who would do that?
Anita is a psychopath.
I did not read the back of book 3. I read book 1 reviews. I think somebody somewhere mentioned.
Oh. No. All right. Well, we'll see. We'll see.
By the way, this is my favorite poem. This is what I wrote in our Discord channel. I sing and caper, dance and twill, and many a merry pattern I weave. But cross me not, friends, for there is no burning coal in all the fires of booktube, no raging storm in all the oceans, no element on this earth or in this world that could match my fury. My name is Anita, and I do not forget. I should have said that without smiling, but
You're not Zhukov. Mike, without spoiling anything, like what can we like look forward to? Like what kind of book is book 2? Is it more of the same? Is it different? Like what is there?
It's similar, but it is it's not exactly the same. They're the way the things go, the way the overall story is set up is different. The setting is interesting. It's like a 5 or 6 year time jump.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And like I said, Mulagesh, I like Mulagesh in book 1. She's great in book 2.
That's awesome.
And also some of the side characters that she comes into contact with are also neat, but I don't want to say who any of those are.
Okay, cool. And is the city cool? Is it similar, the same?
It's no, it's called Vortistan, because Vortia is the war god.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually kind of more wrecked when because she was Vortia was the god of battle and the sea, and so a bunch of their city was like buildings risen out of the sea, and they like just when she died. Dang. And so there's like a lot of wreckage and ruin in the harbor, and so it's strangling the trade of this whole chunk of the continent kind of thing is where the history of where it's set up.
Yeah, that's cool. What miracle? I don't know. I want something. I want the teleportation one. Like I want the freaking Zhukov's doors.
Yeah, I love interdimensional spaces. That's like interdimensional spaces would be like if I had a superpower in real life, that would be like in my top 3.
That's
being
awesome.
Able to like make up, Liamon's tiny hut kind of situation.
Yes. I would literally just stick a door in DC and I would just whoop and be like, all right, guys, what's up? Whoop, hop on back. Which god would y'all choose out of the 6? I would not pick Kolkan and his Kolkan. You need to calm down, my guy. Pete, go ahead and say it, Pete.
I'm actually torn because it would either be Zhukov.
It would be
Zhukov or the flower.
You want to live in your flower house.
What is that god's name, by the way?
I don't remember.
You don't even remember the god's name.
Exactly. That's why I'm torn between that and Zhukov.
Well, there was only
imagine if Zhukov had hid with the flower god.
So there's 5. I thought Olvos was the flower. Oh, wasn't Olvos the one that grew the city?
Arasha.
There must have been more than 5 gods then.
There were 6.
There's 6.
That's okay.
Yeah. There are 6. 5 they thought 5 were dead.
Jukos, Kolkan, Olvas, Urchias, and Builder and Flower God.
Yeah. Ashana is the flower one. Because they keep talking about Ashanistan as the city. And then the builder one, Kolkan, where is it? Vortia. Ahana. Sorry. Ahana is the.
Ohana means family.
No, Ahana, you fool. And then Tal Havras. Talhavris is the builder one. I want to see Talhavris the most. Like that's the one I'm excited about, the builder one. But yeah, there are only 6. Mhm.
Yes.
So I don't know. It's weird because it feels like that now all 6 are confirmed dead except Ulvros. So that means only, I don't know.
That's true, but
So that means we only get Ulvros creatures. What type of creatures is Ulvros gonna build? Like things that like come and heal you in the night or something?
I don't think they I don't think they die. Do the divine creatures die if they die? I don't think so.
Yes.
Do
I
they?
think I
Over
know
time,
not by default, but
I don't-
when Kaz came, they mass murder divine creatures and children.
Yeah, but I think if there's one alive, I don't think they die like that.
Yeah.
Right, Mike?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
I personally think that one of these gods is going to get resurrected by the end of the series.
Hold on.
Like that, I think that's the consequence
Maybe,
of letting
maybe Sepur
the continent have
maybe
their
Sepur
people
will
die.
get their own god because Shara asked that question.
Yeah.
Why we did not have a god? Why? What did we do
What
wrong?
if
Something like that.
Sigrid becomes a god?
Well, here, listen. For while the city's god is most certainly dead, something is awakening in Vortiashtan, and someone's determined to make the world tremble at the city's awful power again. So it may not be the gods, but it may be something, similar or worse or whatever.
I liked the premise of what they worked with in book 2 of what the problem is overall. I like what he did.
I'm pumped. If I would absolutely feed those people who betray it to me, and that all-seeing eye in that desert thing would just replay scenes of people's betrayal, so people could stop gaslighting me by pretending it didn't happen. I'll be like, "Here's what you did." Yeah, that does. Any other thoughts? I enjoyed this, and I think I really like the world this is set in. It makes me super interested to see what happens in the other 2 books. So I think it did a really good job. Yeah, there you go, Urza. Belief is floating around and someone's going to use it. I think whether or not another god comes, Pete, is going to depend on, like what Mike was asking, is where the gods come from. Like, were the gods like there, or like did something create them, and can something create them again? So
I think the answer is absolutely.
Maybe it's like same feedback loop where people had faith and like thought something will helping them, so that's how gods were born.
Yeah, I fully expect to see this god isn't dead cult in the next 2 books.
Oh my gosh, what are you saying, Mike?
I have high hopes for the 3rd book because Bridger from Library Ladder mentioned that the 3rd book is by far the strongest of the trilogy, and he said he read it years ago and he still thinks about how it ended. Like, it's
really?
He said something. He did not say about the entire book. He said that's one of the best endings he still thinks about.
That's very cool. That's really cool. Then
he's like tied it together really nicely.
That's awesome.
Trilogy.
Cool. I'm excited. Any other thoughts, guys, on this book? I liked it overall. Like it didn't. I mean, again, the last 20% was not my favorite, but I thought it was a good book. And I did not do the audio, so you guys, was the audio better for the second one, Mike?
I don't know if I was just used to her or if it was better.
Did she get better? Like we'll hear from Anitha, because Anitha was the one that was talking about it sounded like she had a cold, I think.
Did it at least delineate between epigraph and chapter?
Well, my version, not all. There's 2 different versions of the audio, and the one I had didn't have that problem, but I know other people had one that had a problem.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I bought them on Audible, so I'm assuming that the US Audible one is better.
Yeah. Have any of you guys read The Tainted Cup? His other
Ryan has.
Thing? Who has?
Ryan.
Oh, okay.
He really likes it, I think.
I was trying to find someone who had read
Charmaine
it.
liked it. She's reading Drop of Corruption right now.
My wife read Foundry Side, the first one in his other trilogy. She really liked book 1 a lot. And then book 2, she only read about half, and she's like, this is a big step down.
I have also only read Foundry Side and heard that it dropped off in books 2 and 3. But I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear from hearsay that is not the case with this particular one. How do you compare Oh wait, you DNF this book. You don't count. Never mind. I'm trying to find someone who read the whole thing of both of them on how they compare.
I think Angela read them, but I'm not
Is
sure.
Angela here? She
I
You
was.
still here, Angela?
You
Angela,
telling me
please.
people that aren't here doesn't do me any good right now on this live show. I like this book better than Foundry Side. Yes.
Is the Foundry Side the one people compare to Mishpawn?
Yes? Question mark. Foundry Side is the thing where you can see the history of an object. It's called scriving.
He didn't want to use scrying.
You're not scrying. You're not seeing something happening far off.
Like
You're
scrying with more verticality.
No, I think scribing, you like inscribing runes on things or patterns on things to empower them.
yeah. Yeah. But I like this one better than Foundry Side. Foundry Side is good, but I think Foundry Side it reads slightly younger than this one does, at least in my opinion. But I really like this.
Is the main
I like
protagonist younger?
I like that all characters are like adults in this book, though we get some college scenes.
Mike, is Shara in this book? And if you don't want to hear it, plug your ears, because I want to know.
I already know. I already asked Mike.
Oh, okay. Is Shara in this book?
She's not physically in it, but there's some communication with her.
Okay, cool. That's cool. Dang, that's wild. And that's bold. What a move to pick. Your main character from book 1 isn't even in book 2. You pick Mulagesh is in it a lot, but good for.
I think he did a good job of setting the next character up, the next POV up, for you to like that person off the bat.
Yeah.
At least for me, I liked Shara so much by the end. Even though I liked Mulagesh, second book, when I heard that it's Mulagesh POV, we barely get Shara, I was little disappointed. Because I liked Shara by the end of the book. He made me fall in love with it. He developed those characters a lot.
There's other characters you're going to like in book 2.
Very cool. If you guys like this, what else would you recommend before we go? Yeah, exactly, Simon. There are other fantasy mysteries that I cannot think of. Oh, if you like this book, Blackwing. I like Blackwing. Read Blackwing. This just feels similar to that, but not really. Get Blackwing.
Is Blackwing grimdark? It's more violent, right?
This book is pretty violent, Anita.
Oh, I did not feel like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Really?
It's not graphic, at least.
That's also not true.
When they were fighting the Sentinel armor at the end and everybody was just turning into birds, it was very G.I. Joe.
Yeah, that's true. But Sigrid clawing his way Ace Ventura When Nature Calls style out of the Kraken thing? That was violent? Covered in blood and viscera? No, that's not expressive at all.
Good guys can be violent to bad guys. I have no problem with that.
Or even during when they attacked the party and Sigrid was there, just John Wick's out on him.
Yeah. Just he's shoving his thumb in the guy's eye.
Okay, don't. Okay. Okay, you made your point.
That's what you get under my leadership of the Saipuri government, you continental.
See, this is why I'm against Saipuri rule.
This is not Grimdark. All right, well, guys, thank you so much for joining us. We made it to an hour. We will have another one. Are you all good to come talk about the second one?
Yeah,
cool. Mike, you'll retain enough that you won't read too many books between now and then.
No, I'll remember it. Yeah, I think it's honestly more memorable. When I reread the first book, I didn't remember much from when I read it 10 years ago. I remember generally what happened, and I remember liking it, but I forgot a ton of the specifics until I reread it.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I'm excited. Pete, are you gonna read the second one?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Anita,
why do you like weird eye stuff, Fallon?
I don't. There just happens to be eye horror in every one of these freaking books I pick.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining. Simon, I am excited to see your review of book 2 because I loved your review of book 1. Talking about RJB as a gossip columnist who just can't wait to spill his secrets. And hopefully, Sal, I hope you like it, book 2 better than you did 1. And I'm glad that Urza just guzzle that Urza pop, Urza, and join us again. So, all right, take it easy, everybody.
That's good,
Bye.
Brady. We hope you like it. Bye.